Welcome to Manitowoc Garage. In today's video, we'll be doing an overview of the carrier display features on a GMK 4100L-1 with the CCS operating system. Please remember to always refer to the crane's operation and safety manual for detailed explanations of the operating system, display features, component locations, and descriptions. With the crane ignition on, the startup screen is first displayed. On this display we see battery voltage, hydraulic oil temperature, and DEF level. Also we have indicators for the differential cross locks, longitudinal locks, suspension status, transfer case status, level indicator for the carrier, steering status. Also we have on the bottom warning symbols. This warning symbol tells us we have low battery voltage. Navigation of the display is done via the buttons in the lower center of the display. The arrow buttons are used to navigate once in the sub-menus. The OK button is used to select a feature. The escape button is used to always return to the startup screen. This menu button is used to enter the sub-menus. The top right button is used to toggle favorites if saved within the sub-menu. The lower right button is not used on the carrier display. Next we will enter into the sub-menu. Now we see our features displayed for the carrier. We have suspension, steering, display contrast and time, hour meter, engine transmission error codes, crane error codes, carrier working lights, backup camera, carrier hydraulic oil heat up, and transfer case engage and disengage. To save favorites from the sub-menu, we highlight the item we want to make a favorite. We hit the top right button. That icon now turns green. We can scroll to another icon, highlight it. Top right button turns it green. We now have two favorites saved in our sub-menu. If we escape back to the startup screen, we can now use the top right arrow button to toggle through our favorite menus. Back to the sub-menu, we can now turn the favorites off if wanted, highlight the icon, select the arrow button, and now our favorites have been turned off. Next we will enter into the suspension screen. In the suspension screen we see indicators for pressures within the suspension system. We can toggle through and select different suspension groups for raising and lowering functions. And also we have icons at the bottom for raising and lowering the suspension. There will be a future video to explain the features of the carrier suspension system coming soon to Manitowoc Garage. Back to the sub-menu. Steering. Our steering display allows us to change the different steering modes. We have highway steering, manual steering, coordinated steering, and crab steering. Also, we are able to select high range and low range for the transfer case. Back to the sub-menu. Display contrast and time. If we select OK for the display contrast, we can raise and lower the contrast by selecting the up and down buttons. Once we have our contrast set, we hit OK. Scroll down to the time, we have the ability to change the time. Back to the sub-menu, hour meter. This shows us a running total of all hours and also reset hours. The lower hours can be reset. For instance, if the crane goes out onto rental, we can set these hours individually or as a group. Submenu, engine error codes. This is telling us we have one engine error code. We would have to reference detailed error code breakdowns to see what this error code means. Back to submenu, crane error codes. Select OK. Currently there are no crane error codes. Submenu, carrier working lights. They are currently off. We select OK, turns the lights on. OK again, turns the carrier working lights off. Backup camera, selecting OK, turns the backup camera on. And we must exit the screen by selecting the menu button. Hydraulic oil heat up for the carrier, selecting OK. We'll cycle functions on the carrier to heat up the hydraulic oil. Hitting OK turns that function off. Transfer case, neutral or engaged. Currently, the transfer case is engaged. If we select OK, it will put the transfer case in neutral. This may be needed if needing to tow the crane. Once neutral is selected, the icon will give you a neutral symbol. This is the display features of the carrier display on a GMK 4100L-1. Thanks for checking in and viewing today's video from Manitowoc Garage. We hope you will find today's information useful, and please be sure to check back in for future videos. Thank you.